Hello, welcome everyone. Harry Boy Sam here to cast the Hermetica 2v2 Pangea tournament. The game we've got today is the winners quarterfinal game, game 14, and we've got the Cheedle brothers versus Albanian fishermen. Let me just change this here. So this is quarterfinals match. Albanian fishermen, I believe, are seeded 13th, and we've got the Cheedle brothers who are seeded 5th. For the Cheedle brothers, we've got Juta, who's rated around 1800, with Stuart Cheedle, who's rated around 750, new ELO as of today. These games were played yesterday though. And for Albanian fishermen, we've got Albanian villager, who's around 1300, and Dopefish, who's around 1200. Both of these teams, I should say, won their previous set 2-0, so coming into this one strong. And let's just take a little look at the rules for the tournament. If I can bear with me as well, I'm a bit of an amateur on Twitch here. Let's turn this one on. Let's drag this over here, and here we've got the rules. So Pangea tournament, £200 tournament, £150 for the first team, £50 for the second team, equally divided. Lobby settings, 2-minute delay, hidden civilizations, and most importantly, we've got the game settings here. So Civ, one different pick per team, no bans. Map is the first pick by the lowest elo team. All maps allowed, there's no bans, so no bans for the Civ, no bans for the map either. Map pick last match randomised by the Woolaloo Masterbot as far as different from the previous played map. So no map will be played twice. Random map, standard, no treaty, shared exploration, 4 players. Let's just take a look through here. So there doesn't seem to be any rules around laming, for example, or slinging as well, which is another big one in tournaments, but that's all the rules we've got here. These games were played yesterday, so I have got the records here. Tried to hide it in, so we're trying to hide the actual match result. And we'll just jump straight into game number 1. I don't think I've missed any pre-information off. Let's just have a look. So the lower seed, I believe, are Albanian fishermen, so I'm assuming that they picked map number 1 first, which we can see here is Crater. And we'll just jump straight into it. Okay, so as mentioned, we've got Stuart, who's teamed with Juta, and Juta's got Gajaras. Stuart's gone for the Franks. For the other team, whose name I've already forgotten, Albanian fishermen, we've got Mongols, and we've got Magyars as well. So as you can see, this is a pretty open map. All your wood access is around the edge, and you get this deer patch at the back. So I do favour Mongols here. You'll be able to get a super fast up time. Got a nice berry placement here as well, so you can whack a mill on there. You don't have to push them too far later as the game goes, and you should be able to get through all those within the Dark Age. Have a nice eco lead. You've got to favour the scout play on this map, just due to how open it is. You know, you've got very little walling possibilities. Even on the wood line here, you need to chop into it to get a really good wood line. But let's see how this one plays out. All the relics are in the middle. See if they come into it. So we've got Dopefish, who's rated around 1200, against Stuart, who's 750 as of today, as mentioned. How would I play this as the Albanian fishermen, who are both roughly around the same elo? You've got to go in and get damage on the stronger player. There's a big elo difference on the Cheedle brothers. As mentioned, Duda's around 1800, so can't let him get up and running, especially with Kajara's got plenty of options just within the stable. They've got their unique unit as well, which does really well against infantry or any group units really. Archers, They've got reduced damage against scouts, against cavalry now. Mongols has got to go for a super fast up time and scouts surely. Could be double scouts out of Albanian fishermen here with the Magyars. Wonder if we'll see any men-at-arm play, perhaps. Could get some really good damage with... Oof! First villager goes down for Mr. Cheedle here. There we go. Overlay, oh my god. Amateur, here we go, that's better. Pretty standard stuff at the minute. As you can see, Albanian villagers opted for that mill. Again, really favoured berries right next to the deer patch. Seems it's the same spawn for all players. I have no idea why these random players are here, but I can see this is one death at the moment. Stuart lost it to the boar.
Namaste.
As you know, players are going to go for scouts on here. I think men-at-arms would be a good punisher. You know, men-at-arms hit before the scouts can come and hit your base, get a nice advantage. The only problem is then it's difficult to then go into scouts yourself. Let's move this along. Albanian villager doing some good harassment with the scout here. Mongols is going to gold, so he's definitely going for archers. 21 pop archers. I was expected it to be a little bit quicker with all of the hunt here, but it's going to have a really good eco. So Stuart's just clicking up now, so it's going to be 30 seconds to a minute behind Datefish here, so let's see what early pressure Datefish can come up with. Looks like both players are just going to play their side, so it will be 2 1v1s in the initial game. 21 pops and Juta as well. Not gone to gold, so it should be a scout play here. Same for Albanian villager. Stuart is heading towards feudal, but put farms down. You get the free farm upgrade with Franks, so be better off holding off to get horse colour onto these farms than putting them down in the Dark Age. There it is, scouts for the Magyars player. And we've got a back stable for the Gajara player. Not sure about that. I think it's always better to have your military buildings on the front to reduce the amount of time that you can get to your opponent to get earlier damage in. Most often than not, games around this elo, if you get the first pressure in, you can keep your player on the back foot and you can kind of control the game. And just small margins of, you know, what, 20 or so tiles just means you get there that little bit quicker, get that pressure on. But Spearman already out for the Magyars player. No defensive Spearman for player 8. Magyars do get the early upgrades on their early attack upgrades. as part of the Civ bonus, which is always nice. So it's always difficult for any player against a Magyars in early feudal to start to compete unless you can get those upgrades in yourself. Especially when you're behind as well on production. So we've got 3 scouts versus 2 here. Let's take a little look at what's going on here. Blacksmith coming up for the Mongol player now. And straight away he's got the pressure on Stuart here, so tower coming up for the wood line. Do like that. Maybe a couple of palisades around that if you can as well. Just stops the opponent from sitting under your tower. The Stuart's down to 18 villages at the moment. Other players around 24 to 28. Seems as though Orange has defended that attack well. 3 kills for 1 death, which is always a good return. Set his base up nice, really defensive. Can't hit the gold, can't hit the wood line. Maybe a spearman or 2 around this back area. Early blacksmith coming up for the Magyar player. Let's see if he goes for an upgrade here. He's not got the eco. He's housed. This is really difficult. Forced off berries, never want that as a Franks player with your berry bonus. It's going to be cannot engage out with scouts now. Got spearmen there, got the archers with fletching. Not very much to counter attack. You could potentially send those scouts to counter attack here. Try and get some damage, force it off the gold. There is a lot. All those scouts go down, so it's 2 kills for 9. I think now as a Frank player you need to slack down on archery range. Get some skirms out and defend this because you're just not going to be able to get the mass enough on the scouts. Meanwhile up here, both player 8 and player 1 are happy to exchange armies. Went for that blacksmith but didn't get any upgrades. It's a bit too early. Probably would have been better investing that into some more earlier farms. Get your eco up and going. Don't really need the blacksmith unless you're clicking up or wanting to go for an upgrade. And then, as expected, here's the incoming 2v1. It's going to be very difficult for player 8 to hold this. Stuart's down on 19 villages. He's pretty much out of the game at this point. So switching to camels, I think that's a good option. But they're still relatively weak in the feudal age. I do upgrade into camels when you get to the castle age, so you can start massing them. But I think that's a better move for when you've clicked up. Could be a quick one here. Trying to go for the double stable. He's going to be forced off gold. That's going to cancel his access to camel scouts. Loses 5 villages there. Yeah, it's looking tough. It is looking tough. Both players on the Albanian fisherman untouched at home, so their ecos are going to be booming quite ahead of the Cheedle brothers here. Another villager goes down. Could see a GG here. He's already towered. There's only 75 stone in the bank. Yeah, tower goes onto the gold. Ideally you want a tower here and here to even attempt to defend this, I would say. engagement, had to take it, but spearmen, archers there, scouts as well, both upgrades now, just missing bloodlines. It's going to be 8 villages down potentially with nowhere to go. And this is the thing with this map. Constantly got to push on a hill as well, so. Oh. If we coordinate that attack a bit more together for the Cheedle brothers, you may have got a clean up here, but players 8's army was already dead by the time that Stuart was able to engage. Oh no, we do get a clear up. A good clear up, but at what cost? You lost 8 villagers on the wood there, nobody on the wood. Let's look at the village account now. Both Albanian fishermen 47 and 43 versus 29 and 21. It's going to be very difficult to come back here. I'm trying to think what a win condition could be. So it's not going back to the berries here. Could do with walling that in as well, just to make sure that you're doubly safe. Bloodlines in for the Gujaras, no bloodlines for Magyars. But as you can see, Mongols player is now on the way to castle, 55%. 26 archers. Yeah. There's no way you can respond to this. Forced off gold. Farms are going to be idle. Tough position. GG. Yeah. Sincere crossbow. Game over. Good game though. Tough map to play. Tough map to play. Well played from all. Losing that was the killing blow really, losing all your woodline there, but well played by the Albanian fisherman. Let's take a quick look at the stats before we jump into game number 2. Fairly even on the units killed and lost, but the big difference here, which isn't captured on the statistics, is the amount of villagers that are included on there. Dope fish up to 36 army as well. That archer mass would have been impossible to deal with. Eco Juters, under all of that pressure, got the biggest boom off. Good economy from the Gujaras. Feel high, yeah. Both Albanian and Dope up to 47 villagers. Quick look at the timeline. And we'll jump into game number 2. So game number 2, we've got African clearing. Okay, so I can't remember the rules now, so I'm assuming that the Cheedle brothers picked this map. I've lost my UI. There we go. So African clearing, nomad start. Again, wood around the edge of the map. There are some wood piles within the map, but why the hell is the fish not showing on here? Okay. Not sure what's going on with my UI here. Lots of fish ponds around note on this map, not shown on the mini-map for whatever reason. We'll take a quick look at where they're settling here. I'm choosing to settle on a lake, which I do favour on this map. Don't mind settling on the wood either though. Shoot's gone for a mill on this side of the map. and also chose to settle on a fish pond as well. Relatively close to the wood for both players though, so they'll be able to get across there. It's a hard one to judge, I think, on this map, when to send your villagers to wood if you've opted for a TC on the pond. Let's take a quick look at the Albanian fisherman. Also selected to go on a pond is Dope Fish. Not sure about his TC though, because the stone's blocking you off from access to the pond. I think it would have been better on this side for faster drop off, but got plenty of food sources around. Rhinos are always good to get as well. An Albanian villager is the only one who's decided to go for the wood TC start. Goes straight onto a elephant, fastest food collection source. Get him off to a nice good start. A couple of houses down already. Pretty standard stuff, so it'll be pretty slow building into this one. Let's take a look at the Sibs. So we've got Berbers and Hindustanis for the Albanian fishermen. Both strong on this map versus Spanish and Hindustanis. So both teams opting to go for Hindustanis. Really good pick on this map. It'll be interesting to see what player 8 goes for here with the Spanish. If he gets castle up, get some conks out, he can control the game. He can put both players under pressure at the same time. And that's what I expect to see here. For Stuart, if the players are put under pressure like that, then he can go for a boom really. Boom, follow it up with camels, which would be good. Stuart did opt for the mill. Therefore, he's not left himself enough wood for a lumber camp. So he's long chopping this tree here. No players lost a villager. It's a bit of a wild boar law, but he's going to be able to get onto another one there as well, which is good. Stuart's got enough of a lumber camp, assuming these villages will go across. So I think both players here will go for fast castle. I mean, all 4 players should really go for the fast castle. Does anyone know where they are? Potentially lost a sheep here, so Albanian fishermen may have an idea that there's one player across there. And for the Cheedle brothers, no knowledge of where players are. Both have got a pretty good idea that no opponents near, more so for the Albanian fishermen. They've got really good scouting at the moment. They can both safely say that the opponent's not next to them. You know, scouts can be punishing on this map as well, but I think you really need to have the scouting information to make the scouts pay off, because if you invest in scouts, you're going to have a later castle time, and if you don't know where they are and you're spending half your time scouting with them, then you can get punished by the fast castle. Looming already for player 8. None for player 1. None for player red, and loom in already for player 3. Quick look at the Vil count. So high CLO players pulling away is on 19 Vils, I should say, already. Stuart on 17, Albanian villager on 17, both fish down on 16. Perhaps an idle TC time there. Not much going on, we'll speed this up a little bit. feudal coming in for Stuart on 18 volts. So I'm assuming this is going to be scouts. Yeah, barracks comes down, good timing. Should be a stable follow-up as well. Play rate going up early as well, with a super fast castle time, which is really good. Hero fisherman here, just living his peaceful life, fishing on the shore. Okay, let's see what's happening here then. Spanish has gone fast castle and he's opted to go for a TC boom. Was expecting conks, but as I mentioned, both got really good scouting. They both know that, you know, they've not got an enemy player nearby, can get away with a boom. Let's have a look what damage Stuart can get with these. Good reactions from Albanian villager there. One villager down. That's the pathing, man, with this game. With scouts, if you tell them to attack a certain villager, they always opt for the nearest one, which can be very frustrating. But good walls here from Albanian villager. This is really good damage though from Stuart, really good job. Got a villager kill on here, he's got lots of idle time, these villagers can't drop off till the gate opens. Should get another one here as well. Good stuff. We'll come back to this in a moment, let's just take a look around here. Datefish up to castle, let's see what his move is. It's going to be hard for you to push when the camels start coming out, so do you look for the opponent. If you can find this somehow, that would be great. But villager can't. Datefish goes for the boom as well, so 3 TC comes down for him. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Still on 2 TC for player 8, and he drops a castle. Again, very defensive. You know that there's an opponent here. I'd expect it to be forward. But then again, it does protect a lot of the eco, it does protect your teammate as well, who may be exposed. It's gone for the feudal pressure, all other players out castle. Shoot with a good move as well, so he does look for alternative damage. Again, correct reaction, good reactions as well. Should get a Vil there. Garrison. Keeps all 4 alive, another 2 kills, good stuff. Albanian villager has lost some more, let's have a look. Conk's coming in with the damage, so this is a really good strategy here. Get the early damage with the scouts, Stuart's done a great job at that. Following up with the conks, which also count the cavalry as well. It's a bit difficult in these low numbers, but you can hit and run. It's probably worth Orange getting husbandry here if he can. He's got the resource to put down a barracks in the stable. If he gets husbandry, he can always just hit and run, and any cavalry will just get countered instantly. So Albanian fisherman's lost 9 villages at this point, down to 26. Take a quick look at Stuart's upgrades. Does that have wheelbarrow on it? Oh yeah. Should be super annoying with these scouts. Should get another villager. Good work. Queen going for the counter attack. Let's see what damage these villages are very exposed. Somehow this villager is still alive, minding his own business. His mill's on fire, but he doesn't care. As previously mentioned, these are exposed, and this will be a few villagers going down for Stuart, unfortunately. All his hard work with the scouts undone. +1 on the camels. Up to 5 conks now. That's going to one-shot any villager it comes across. Really difficult to deal with as an opponent. Camel archers. He goes down. Moment of silence for that poor villager. Another TC coming down for Stuart. Could be worth getting fletching on your TCs here. It's quite an open map, you do get a lot of raids. TC goes up just in time. Conk's looking for more damage. They've got 12 kills so far. Camel archers are a good counter. Can he get up the mass though? He's opted for the boom. He's going to be ahead in villages, I assume. No, he's only on 49, so Orange is playing this one really, really well. Maintaining his army. He's not lost a single unit here. More villagers go down. It's got to be tilted. Do you go for the monk defense as dope fish? You've committed to the boom. You've either got to halt your villager production a little on the 4 TCs and get some army out, or go for the monk defense and continue your boom. Go for an early imp. Loses 2 units there fairly cheaply. You need to just hold back and try and get a mass up, at least match the numbers. Has got +1 on them. 2 TCs for the green player. Stuart coming in with his camels of his own. He's got 8 there. Is a forward workshop an option here? It's quite distant so to go. Both players have got castles. No, that's a bad idea. Good reactions there. Stuart on the 3 TC. So at the moment we've got Stuart on 3 TC, player 8 on 3 TC as well. 2 TC for the Albanian fisherman. And we've got the greedy 4 TC for dope fish. Only on 58 villages though, play rate up to 80. More villager picks. Oof. I think play rates identified that, you know, this dope fish is on a 4 TC boom, so he's the one that you need to keep under control. If you can get a free boom off and get an early imp, then you can just overwhelm you with any unit, whether your conks counter it or not. Better trade there, 240. Albanian villager adds the 3rd TC. Fourth TC down for player 8. Let's have a look at his eco here. He's thinking about the imp. It's either of Albanian fisherman close to him. Albanian villager, no. Dope fish, no. So that's going to be deadly. I think ideally if you're player 8, by the time you hit castle, you want to maybe get I should say, you want to get a castle forward so you can get some early trebs out. is struggling to get the production out. He's up to 2 castles now, so he should start matching the 2 castles of player 8. But at what cost does this come? I mean, if you had a couple of monks in the eco, you could maybe push the conks back at an earlier stage when there was in groups of, you know, 3 or 4. Not an easy unit to deal with. Got both the armor upgrades now on the conks as well. Quick look at Stuart here, still on the 3 TC boom. Take a look at the eco, floating a lot of gold, lots of villages in the queue as well. We unqueued all of those. I got the buildings down instead of the stables. He could go to input himself. Albanian villager opting for the Golems, okay. Great unit against archers. Really good pierce armor on them, but I'm not so sure it's a good option against cavalry and conks. You could go cav archers yourself as a Hindustanis. I've got Thumb Ring, just missing Parthian Tactics, full upgrades. Both blacksmith upgrades. Should do well versus the conks. Or just go for camel yourself. Good engagement for green there. Orange up to him. No other players clicked up at this stage, so it's going to be difficult for Albanian fishermen to hold back a Spanish player here. Loses a couple of units cheaply there as well. And Dotefish does not mess about with his boom. He's gone up to 5 TCs now, which the more TCs you add, the slower you're going to get to imp, because you're just investing more food into keeping all of those TCs running. I think it would have been better to click up to imp, prioritise imp, and then add the 5th TC. You're just putting yourself so far behind, but camel archers should still trade well and get a good mass of them, even against upgraded imp units. Do counter cavalry, do counter conks, but once the upgrades start kicking in, it's going to be tough. Especially when they've got the imp armor upgrade, which is coming in now for player 8. Albanian fisherman has added the TC as well, so again, looks like he added it after he clicked up to imp actually, so hold that thought. Does have a militia in the queue though. See where that comes into play. So player 8 opting to swap from conks into cavalier. I think that's a good option. It's much easier to mass up cavalier over conks. You only need stables obviously for the cavalier, and even though both camel archers and the Hindustani camels counter you, they don't counter you when you've got a tech advantage when you're in imp and both players aren't. As mentioned earlier, the castle comes down. It would have been good to have this in imp, but that's me being super critical, I guess. Just want to get the early trebs out. If you can take this castle out, that will leave Dotefish with just 1 castle to produce a unit that he's committed to here, which is the camel archer. It's going to be a big tech switch for him if he opts to go into camels himself. So he needs to keep this mass alive, ready for when he hits imp, which is not clicked yet. So it's going to be a very tricky situation here. Quick look at Stuart. He's added his own TC here. He's up to imp now. Plenty of resource in the bank. We'll see what his play is. He's got his tables down, so he will be committing to the camels. Treb on the hill does additional damage. Stats unpacking it, not sure why. You've got to bear in mind all these TCs have got +2 on them as well, so it's not a good position to fight in. Could turn around and jump on this now. The armies are split. So they're both in castle age, they need to stick together. Yeah. So that's going to be an easy clean up there. I don't think he would have taken the engagement. He or she would have taken the engagement if both armies would have been there. So Albanian villagers got up to him and took the engagement before he's got any of these imp upgrades in. Would have been better off just holding back. Even if you have to garrison villages, if he raids with the units, it would have been better to keep your army and get the upgrades. Now he's got to start from scratch again. Those 8 camels have been living a life of luxury, chilling in the back here, come to start turning up for the war. More coming in for Stuart as well. Should be getting in his upgrades. Yep. Heavy camels coming in. Last armor upgrades coming in as well. Has already got +2 on them as well, which is great. However, for player 8, he's clicked that magic button, Paladin. That's going to be very difficult for Albanian fishermen to deal with. Great position here, you're on the hill, they can't really engage you. You've got your castle on there, your treb does bonus damage. Probably just needs a few extra trebs out though. Are in the queue. Now the tricky thing with this situation is you can't push this position, so if I was green, oof, Paladin's in now as well. Camel archers are great at dealing with these units, but you need a meat shield in front. It would be good if you could have got Hussar maybe, or the coordination here between the two players a little bit off. We've got the camels going for the trebs here, and you've got 2 armies jumping onto one here. It's a tough thing with 2v2s. If you can get that coordination right, you can get better trades, but tricky situation. So again, just took 2 engagements separately. That camel massive 40 has gone down to 20 now. Paladin still 33, Stuart's got 17. It's getting an insurmountable position. If I was green, could you have defended with the camel archers and maybe gone for the raids? I think the position's looking really good here for Cheedle brothers. I don't see any comeback here. Gonna lose this position. Eco is now exposed. Dopefish is going to be down to 1 castle as well. He's just lost his mass, down to 14, and he's only going to have soon to be 1-2 castles to replenish. Stuart's doing a good job streaming in units here to support. A little bit idle here, but lots going on. All those units wasted. I think once you lose your mass, you just need to pull back again. I think Albanian fishermen are just struggling with the coordination, so he took the fight there, lost the units, and now your teammate's going to come in with his single army to fight as well. Stuart up to Imperial Camel Rider as well, which is great. So again, it's just 2 separate fights, you're fighting 2 armies individually. Never going to have a good trade there. Juta's mixing in Pikeman now, which is a great move. Not sure who wins this one. Easy win. Could be a GG soon. I think Dopefish is more or less out of the game. Albanian villager is booming, but there's no way they can hold off 2 against 1, especially now the pikemen are coming in. You've got no camel archers to counter it, and you've got no counter yourself. What do you really go for? Shoot doing a great job looking after his armies, maintaining 33 Imperial camel riders, not diving in, not overcommitting, which is great. We'll get house soon, just needs to slap down a few houses here, just keep the mass coming in. Gators with half the army. Let's take a look. This is a very ballsy castle. Underneath a hill. If anything, it would have been better on the top of the hill here. 3 villages as well whilst this is going on. Trebs in the area. And your bows, you need your castles alive. I think just commit to building them in the back. Just evacuate your eco, move to the back, get some castles up, try and remass. Great raids here. Do you manage to take the castle down on this hill? Play rate up to 180 pop, shoot up to 130. Albanian villagers maxed out. It's going to be difficult to fight here though. He's 152 villagers. It's probably time to start deleting a few, getting a bit more army out. Maybe want to drop that down to 130 or so. Albanian villager trying to mine and Spanish TC there. Play rate doing a good job of being active around the map, getting good raids in, just slowing down. I think they need to turn the Cheedle brothers need to turn their focus now to Albanian villager. He's been relatively untouched throughout. There was an early scout raid, there was the early conks on him, but since then he's just been booming. He's got a really nice eco here. It is very exposed. A few raids in there could do really good damage. Ooh, missed this. Really good raid there, and it looks like Stuart missed it as well. He's down to 66 villages. It looks like the whole of this eco is wiped out, so really good raid there. It's definitely at the point of the game where raids will start determining the game. Green's in a tough position here. You cannot engage here really. They've got too much of a mass, and you've got halbs as well mixed into it. Big engagement here. Should be an easy cleanup for the Cheedle brothers. Hermetica clan says greetings, welcome, hello. What a day of epic fights. Yes, a really good set here so far. It looks like it's going to go to 1-1. Can't see any way for the Albanian fishermen to get back into this. That was a difficult fight. It was far outnumbered. Again, Dopefish was building up some camel archers. I think you just commit to losing all your land. Slap down as many buildings as you can as possible here. It's just wood. And just slow down the push. Just put loads of buildings down. Move all your eco here. Put them castles that you built forward in the back. And try to get back to 40 camel archers. Whilst Albanian villager was more active here with his raiding with those units. Easier said than done though, it's a lot of pressure. And it should be a GG soon. When the castle goes down, let's have a look. No castles now for Dopefish, this is his last one. 89 stone in the bank. And let's take a look here. Still got some upgrades to go before he goes into a tech switch, which he's only got Hussar on the field, which is with feudal upgrades, so really difficult position here. So much map control as well for the Cheedle brothers, really well played. Great strategy here, Stuart with the early damage with the scouts, found lots of damage on both players, slowed them both down. Follow up from player 8 with the conks. Some damage on green, lots of damage on the booming player of the Albanian fisherman. And from there they just built on their advantage. Early in, good pressure, took a good position on a hill around here, I think it was this one. Which meant they could push into the three castles of the Berbers player. Well executed, raids coming in now, it's just point of no return, so any moment now we should see the GG, but well played. And that's going to level the series at 1-1. Albanian villager running low on gold is searching for it around the map, taking risky positions. You know, Cheedle brothers now control what, 2/3 of the map. He's doing well to replenish his numbers, but he's on borrowed time. He's only got 1 on gold now, so that is his last roll of the dice, so to speak. Meanwhile, teammate Dopefish, 42 villagers, tough position. Slinging's not an option. Down to 102 villagers yourself. As you spoke earlier, it was on 152, so again, really good raids. He's opting to go for the raid. I think that's the only play that you've got, but even so, you've got no way of replenishing. You're going to have to resort to light cover after that, and the amount of gold access, map access that the Cheedle brothers have, they'll be able to repel it relatively easy. Got 42 camels here from Stuart, plays 37 from Albanian villager, so even if they set that engagement 1-on-1, Stuart's always going to win that, and he brings in more numbers as well. Good mass. Good castle placement on the hill, harder to push, receives less damage. Trubs of his own, going for a trub war. Stuart can easily take the engagement here. Albanian villager, just commit here if you're Stuart. 59 versus 32. Got Hull back up as well. Can go for the jugular. Raid's still coming in here. I believe that's the only gold access that Albanian villagers got at the moment. Stuart should see that in a moment. Does. Good pickup. Probably only needs to leave 2 or 3 there to clean that up, but make sure. I mean, they've got no answer to help here. Just totally kills you. And there's a GG. Game number 2 brings it up to 1 each. Really well played there from the Cheedle brothers. Complete turnaround from game number 1, where it was way more in favour of the Albanian fishermen, but you have to say that the Cheedle brothers controlled this game from the outset, really. Well executed strategy, good early damage from Stuart, good scout control, damage on both players, got 5 or 6 villages with those. Follow up from player 8, who had a really good fast castle time as well, if I remember correctly, 16 minutes. Minute and 40 minutes before any other player. That allowed him to get TC down first, get his eco up and running, get those conks out. It's worth noting that he didn't waste any of those conks early on as well. He managed to keep those first 5 alive for a long time. I think he was on around 20 villager kills before he lost a unit. So really good micro, really good control, and a really good boom stars across the board. Quick look at the military. 2 most boom players with the most kills, but Stuart backing up the pressure from player 8 there really well. Both run the same army. Quick look at the timeline. Given it's a best of 3, it's 1-1. That jumps us into game number 3. Third and final game, which is going to be on Marketplace. So Marketplace is not a map I've played on random map before, but I have played on Deathmatch. Both players, we'll load in, but both players start with no scout, a house, and 2 trade cards. So how you can start here is just 1 villager to a house, and the rest of the villagers straight into the food, so you can get a nice early uptime. Player 8 doesn't opt for that. Stuart goes for the standard 2 houses as well. Player 5 recognises that. He does go for the 1 house, which gives you the standard build, but you get earlier time on food. Slight margins we're talking about here. And Dopefish is opted to go straight into food, which I can also respect as well. It has got 10 pop. Next villager does need to go to build a house. As we know, it takes the same amount of time to build a house as it does to produce a villager. So as long as you start building that with a villager to go, you're all good. Both players, all players using their trade cards for scouting. Quick look at the scouting patterns here. So, quick look at the civs. We've got Berbers now for Stuart. Does favour the Cav civs, it seems, from all of his picks here. Berbers, Hindustanis and Franks. And Mjuta's gone for Mayans. For Albanian fishermen, we've got Lithuanians for Albanian villager, presuming that's going to be scout play, and Ethiopians for Dopefish. So it's going to be scouts, archers for both teams, and it's going to be scouts versus scouts on this side, and it's going to be archers versus archers on this side. Now, how would I play this map? You've got the wood mass in the middle, but you've got good enough wood lines around you. I'd probably stick to these wood lines initially. Definitely going to be feudal pressure, so it's going to be easier for you to maintain that position if you go out to the wood in the middle. Way more exposed, particularly to archers. Dopefish has opted for that. You know, it is wallable. Could wall here, could wall here, wall here, and then you're defending yourself off of archers. May need a tower as well. Just thinking about feudal pressure here. But certainly both bases are wallable, so you could wall here, up here, here, across to the stone, down, and just kind of like a gold rush base. So it just connects all the wood lines, you've got yourself walled. So I think pre-mill drush here into FC is certainly an option, because you can get the early pressure on, you've got exposed resources to hit, and you've got strong walling potential. So we could see that from the Mayan player. Mayan's good civ to do an FC with, get the militia out. Got 4 on wood, gone to food at the moment, no milk. Could see a barracks here. Let's see. Let's take a look at Stuart's build here. So difficult to see what is going for here. We've got 7 on wood, 8 on wood now. If you're going for scouts, you only need 3 on wood here. Rest on food. Get to berries nice and early. You know, it's going to be very late up time. It's got 8 on food, only 50 in the bank at the moment. We'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, Albanian villager does go for the standard scout rush build. 3 on wood. Goes on to berries late. Lives to get 150 food as a start. So gives you that access to really quick up times. And there you go, goes for the 20 pop, first one to click as well. So mines didn't opt for a barracks. I'm surprised there. He's on 22 pop now, still producing villagers, so he could be going for a blind fast castle, which he's going for 3 more villagers than Loon. It's kind of in between a fast castle and feudal, but let's see if any militia come out here. It will be late if he does opt for any militia. It's 1800. Definitely think men at arms or militia on this map is the way to go if you're doing archers in rather than go straight archers. But again, this is all my humble opinion. My little time here from Stuart, who opted to take his ball near the mill there. This is just eating into his feudal time. He's got enough food, hasn't clicked yet. Clicks now, and his opponent is pretty much going to be in the feudal age, so he's going to be under a lot of pressure here. That's if Albanian villager opts to go for Stuart. He could opt to go for player 8. Let's just take a look to make sure they know where each player is. Yeah, he has scouted. It is Stuart here. I think with scouts you can go to Stuart, get some early damage, and then go around and get some damage onto, then go for the double again, like we saw in the first game, right? Get damage on Stuart, take him out of the game temporarily, and then go around and get a double off, particularly when you've got the archer player around here as well. So player 8 has gone for a 24 vil up. Gotta say, I think this is very risky. You know, it's a fairly open map, similar to what we saw in game number 1, and you need to alleviate some of the pressure that you must know is coming. So that's why I think it would have been a really good option to go for militia or men at arms. 21 pop men at arms or pre-mill drush. Then that could have opened you up to loads of different options. But let's see how it plays out. He does opt for the archers. We'll have a really strong eco here. Has got nearly 500 food in the bank in gold, so all being well, he could pull off a fairly fast castle here. Not your standard FC, but fast enough. Oof, early pressure here. I think that was a previous boar villager that was out on the wood line as well. So 2 vills go down for Stuart here. Potentially more. Hasn't got loom. No, disaster. Okay, yeah, as anticipated. He's got some early damage on Stuart. Stuart has now got stable down, but let's take a look at the eco quickly here. He's got 500 in the bank. Could start pumping those scouts, but yeah, here comes damage now. Oof. Tough one. It took the time to wall this side, but then didn't wall in here, so it's just these small details. Was there any pressure? No, but this is where the communication comes in 2v2s. If you could let your teammate know that the scouts have left your base, then he could have pre-walled that, but 2 villagers go down there for player 8. Could have been worse, just get the wall off there. Could have been more, but still not ideal. And meanwhile, we're going to have to deal with these archers. Do not have fletching yet. Let's have a look. just clicked it now, will come in. And he is going for an FC. 20 food short. Very exposed wood line. Fine for Scouts though. Has walled off this, which is great, but if Archer's getting there, it's got no way of defending. And he has gone for the FC. Very, very risky strategy, I'd have to say. You may get the tech advantage, but both players have gone for the feudal play. You're going to have Scouts on you. A larger archer mass. At the moment, he's got 3 archers to make into crossbow, so let's just see how this one plays out. He's not got enough even to defend this here, which he's now got fletching, and you've got the Scouts. Tough situation. Meanwhile, for 4 Scouts in the queue for Stuart, some idle time. He is down to 22 villagers. Both Albanian and Dopefish are more villagers, but you got to bear in mind, player 8 has clicked a castle, which does cost you a few villagers as well. So I'd say it's fairly even. He did lose those 2 villagers earlier, but not the end of the world. How is he going to defend this? Has to go with tower. Does go with tower. Not an ideal gold situation here though. Is he going to wall that off, or are the Scouts going to find damage? So fletching and armor for the mines. Should get the tower up. But there's so much going on here to micro. You've lost your wood line here. That's left you down to just these on wood at the moment. Again, very exposed, few half-dead villagers. Just wall here, here, and here. You should be safe, even from archers as well. Let's take a look at the scouting here. Doesn't know about this. If you put a wall here, you have a very safe wood line. Ideally needs to get a wall round here to stop them diving the tower. But this is very difficult. You've got 8 archers, 9 archers against 13. Tough eco position. You have got the cast. Oh. Tough one. Tough one. I mean, it's easy to commentate when you're just watching the game, you're not playing, but you know, repeat of what happened earlier in the game, still not noticed. Micro in here. It's really important to micro units as an archers player. I'm sure there's plenty of archers players watching this, but yeah, just needed to pre-rule that in beforehand and learn from the first one. Lots of villagers down there. Let's take a look at the real count. Down to 23. 28 for Stuart. Take a look here. All the action's been over here. Stuart's been getting some involved here. Hasn't managed to pick up any kills yet with those. Goes for the walls here. Could see GG here fairly soon, I think. Difficult position. Lost a lot of the woodcutters there. Arguably avoidable. Like I said, wall here, here, cross here. You've got a nice defendable position. Could have went on stone, maybe got a tower there as well, but it's running fine margins when you're running a FC. I think what I would change here if I was player 8 is go for some sort of aggression. If you're gonna go for that FC, go for the militia. Put your opponent behind, because 2 players just having free reign, it's very difficult. It's just wide open here as well. Tough position. He's managed to get 3 kills with the scouts though, which is good. Looks like one was a trade cart, presuming the other 2 were villagers. But it does lose a few more villagers here. Gets a pick up there. 2 pickups with a TC, which is good. And this is also really good damage here. He's forcing the blue player to come and chase you. Buying yourself some more time, but Okay, gets yourself up to castle, buys some more time. These knights will be in your base if he wasn't getting this damage in here. Picks up to a few more kills, so he's up to 12 now. A few pickups through the TC, but a lot of those are going to be villages, which is good. But even so, you're playing 75 villages against what, 51 or so here. No player using the trade at the moment. Player needs to find a lot of damage here. He is against a feudal player, so he should get a lot of pickups. This is all really good work. More coming in as well. Has he added any TCs? Nope. Oof. This army's on very much borrowed time. I think these knights alone could clear it out. Don't have armour though, so you never know. Delete the mining camp. Yeah, there we go. Archers alone are cleared up. Okay. What you don't want as an archer player is to lose your mass. Particularly when you're taking that much early damage. Have a look, he's got a remass now, he's down to 4. Don't see any way he's going to have an answer to this. I think you have to add a workshop maybe, I don't know. It's a tough one. Going for the commitment on the archers, free ranges, he's got a minute and a half before that hits. So how many archers can you get? Even with Mangonel though, probably could one-shot Mangonel there with 22. I've got armor yet on the knights. Ooh, get the house down. Nearly a good quick call, but he's got enough archers to fend this off, but killing blow is going to be this. 22 archers, 22 plays, 14. Let's take a look at what Stuart's doing. He's gone for camels, which do counter the knights, but do have a tough time against archers, of course. Dopefish being very careful here, but don't mind that. It's keeping his archer mass alive. They probably don't have vision of where player rate's army is, no. And you know, you could expect a TC to be here, perhaps. You could expect a workshop to be here, perhaps. Tough position. There's just been no walling off from Stuart here, and he's just left himself wide open for the taking, really. These camels should clear this up though. He has got good upgrades, both armors, feudal attack. He is a tech above, and he's also got a counter unit, so that should be good. Meanwhile here, did miss it, but I'm assuming some more villagers went down here. He's moved the wood line over here now. Ideally needs a TC on that wood, but due to that early tower here, he's missing 25 stone, plus your eco's really been maxed out here. It's been really tight at FC, and you lost your archer mass, but he's done a good job to get back up to 29. Has opted to go for that workshop now. But whilst you're holding on, Dopefish has added 2 TCs, so he's gone for Boom Strat, likewise for Albanian Villager. And if we take a look at the villagers, Albanian Villager up to 64 now. Dopefish on 40, so tough position. Stuart down on 22. He's going for the attack though. I think if you're the Cheedle brothers here, you need to keep your army together and just go for one big push and make a decision whether you're going to go for Albanian Villager or Dopefish. And just go all in, get a forward workshop, pressure, get loads of pressure, try and go for the kill on one of the players here, because you must know you're behind. Score tells you the same picture. you're probably better off doing it on Albanian villager, because you're going to need your other player to be able to attack and defend. That's a lot of micro. How do you defend? You're probably going to have to defend with siege against the archers, which will give you the least amount of investment whilst your army goes forward. Albanian village going for the counter attack. Gotta respect that. Yeah. It's up to 37 archers now for Dopefish. Again, good damage here on the villagers, but this is going to be telling you a worrying story. You're going to see your opponent on 3 TCs. Oh my god, let's not look at that. So we've got engagements going on here. Meanwhile, the TC's gone for the taking, and that's a killing blow there, unfortunately. Really good move there from Albanian villager. A lot of players could have kept that home, cleared up the army, then gone for the kill. It's going to be a slaughtering. And I think I'm in a position to say that Albanian fishermen are going through to the next round in the winners bracket. Tough one. The two players who are on the same elo have prevailed against the team that has one of the highest rated players in the tournament, I believe, with one of the lower rated players in the tournament, Stuart. But they had a good fight, game number 2. There's lots of positives to build on in that game. Played that really well, really good strategy. I think for the open maps, it's a difficult one. Stuart, it's a tough one. When there's such an elo gap between 2 players, it's hard to stay within the fight. And when you start falling behind and leaving open the 2-on-1, it's a very difficult position. But I think a quick takeaway from Stuart is focus more time on walling. Get yourself some protection, because not even top players can play totally open like that. It's just impossible to keep up with everything. So I'd say that one. For Orange, I just think on this game he just needed to get some early damage on Dopefish, just buy himself some more time to get some more control over this side. Going more or less a blind FC is highly risky. And as you can see, you know, both players got on top of him, and then you've FC'd into pretty much an insurmountable position. You've not got the archer mass, and even if you get the tech upgrade, you just can't take efficient trades. Good game though, good maps, good series, 2-1. Albanian fishermen do take it. Didn't see the markets into play, so I didn't talk about the map at the start. You get the neutral markets here, so any player can trade with these. You do get a starting trade, and here's a tip. With trade, if you build a market either side, so you build a market here, build a market here, garrison this market to this one, and garrison that market to that one, a trade cart will always return to the furthest away market. So instead of a trade cart going all the way down here to collect the gold and then come back, it's picking up the gold straight away and then returning, and that's the quickest way to kickstart your trade. And that goes the same with any game really. So if you're playing a standard map, you only need one market in the corner. You've got your teammates market in the corner here. You can build your other markets anywhere. So you can build 4 markets here, your main market here, garrison to your allies market here, and they'll always return to the furthest market away. And they've got the advantage of they've only gone a shorter distance to initially collect the gold, just kickstarts it into it early. So a few little trade routes tips there. Learn on deathmatch of that. But back over to the game, we'll have a quick look at the stats. Albanian villager getting really good damage with his scouts into knights here, 83 kills versus 25. Quick look at the eco, really good boom as well. Both players on the Albanian fisherman team on 3 TCs, and that should be shown in the villager count as well. 81 and 70 for Dopefish. Did manage to pick up 2 relics as well, so would have got the Lithuanian bonus on the knights. and it was just got that early advantage and just really tipped it into their favour. Really stayed in control of the game. Played out fairly similar to what game number 1 did. Quick look at the timeline, and I've lost my UI again. Okay, perfect. That wraps up the stream today. Congratulations to Albanian Fisherman and Cheedle Brothers get another throw of the dice. They drop down into the elimination bracket. Just before we wrap up, I think I can pull up the brackets. We can have a quick look through that, the brackets as well. So let's move this across here. These are brackets for Pangea tournament. So here was a set. So Cheedle Brothers 1, Albanian Fisherman 2. Albanian Fisherman proceed to the winners semi-final. They'll play the winner of Gun Buckets, some name there, and Centurions. Not sure when that game is. I haven't got the schedule up on here, but in the Gun Buckets we've got Adu and Western, and Centurions we have got Golden Royal versus VT Matt. Have a quick look on here. Let's have a look if we can see when those games are gonna be for anyone that's wanting to catch those games. Nope, doesn't look like either game is in here, so we'll give that a miss. But yeah. In the meanwhile, Cheedle Warriors, they drop down to the elimination bracket, and they will play 2 boys and 1 cup, who managed to get a 2-1 victory over Maxi Smile. And in 2 boys and 1 cup, we have got another great name, by the way. We've got I'm Alpha Dog versus Conservan Dave. So watch out for those games. Like I said, I can't see either game in here, so I can't give a shout out to when those games will be, but hopefully someone will be casting them and can tune into this channel to see all the action. That's it from me. I hope everyone enjoys your evening, whatever you're doing, and tune in next time for the next games. Thank you.